Alright, welcome. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to replace our 2.5 inch hard drive with a SATA SSD, because that's what it uses. It uses the SATA interface. So what you can do is, instead of an HDD, you can also swap it with a higher capacity SSD, even higher than 1 TB if you want. So what we're going to be using is the Philips Zero head, Philips One head. Sorry. You can opt in to get something else too. If you just have a regular Phillips screwdriver, that will probably work too, so you don't need to worry about it. So in total we have 11 screws over here. So now we're gonna remove all 11 screws. You will want to keep in mind that over here, the center, there is a screw, and this will void your warranty. This is specific to the Acer Predator models. There is a sticker here, and if you remove it, your warranty will be void. But that's not always the case. Depending on the people at the service center, sometimes they'll still help you out. Alright, so now that we have all the screws out, this step is actually going to be extremely scary for new people. If this is the first time opening your laptop, now you're gonna want to look closely on how I'm doing this, because it's going to be really scary. I know, because it was very scary for me. So over here, these are these grates. Okay, so you can use these to put in your finger here, and once you have your fingers inside, you want to lay your arms like this and just start pulling. And once you've gotten this part out, you want to do this, because this will help in getting all of the clips that are over here out. You might have to like apply a lot more pressure. This was really easy for me because I've opened up this like a million times now, so it's really easy for me. But you're gonna have to apply a lot of pressure from here, and before you do that, please make sure all of the screws are out, including this one, which will be covered by a sticker. And if your laptop isn't looking like this, if it's a separate company or something, then just make sure you have all the screws out, and go ahead and try to lift it up. So this is what it is like, and here are the internals of the laptop now. Just set this aside safely, because you are gonna need it. So over here, if we have a cursory glance, we have our dusty fans, which you should be cleaning. Here's our battery, our RAM, and two NVMe SSD slots, and our Wi-Fi card. But what we're gonna be focusing on is this little thing right here. So this is the 2.5 inch HDD that comes inside and is connected with the SATA interface. The two main interfaces that are used for connecting storage commercially is SATA and NVMe. NVMe being the faster one for hard drives. For SSDs, my bad. So over here, if you look closely, we have one, two, three, and four. I'm just gonna zoom in. Alright, so you can see that we have four screws right here. So these screws are smaller, and you want to separate all the screws. So I mean, Acer doesn't do a terrible job on having like a million different types of screws. So over here we have the black screws that are a part of the back cover, and here we have another four screws. We're gonna one by one take them out. Having a magnetic mat like this for the screws does help, but if it's just like a one time thing, you really don't need to get it. You also might want to ground yourself before doing this. While the chances are extremely slim, there are chances that if you have any static buildup, like example, if you were on like a carpet or something, the static electricity can discharge over here somewhere inside and cause an issue. The chances are extremely slim, as showcased by LTT's video, Linus Tech Tips video, in collaboration with Electro Boom, but you still want to be safe, right? So now we have a pair of tweezers. You don't necessarily need this, but it's better if you do. And we're gonna look here, and there's a black cable, and it looks like it's coming from the battery, but it's not. The battery cable is somewhere else. It's not in frame right now. So this black cable that is right next to the HDD, there's like a little black piece, and we're gonna take that and we're gonna lift it. So now you can see that we've lifted the black piece, and we can just like remove the ribbon cable. uh, this is kind of a tight fit, so once you've gotten the screws undone, you can just try and like remove it gently, and that's it. We have the hard disk out. We're gonna zoom back out a bit. All right, so if you look closely, there is little foil type material that is actually screwed into this. Now the thing about this thing is that it's actually helpful if you are using an HDD, because the bottom of HDDs for some reason have an exposed PCB, printed circuit board, but yeah, but I mean, it comes with a laptop, so you might as well use it. I'm pretty sure you don't really need things like these for an SSD, especially because SSDs are much more resilient to any sort of damage. Because mechanical hard drives have spinning platters, so those are more fragile because they're moving parts, right? So now what we're gonna do is there are four screws. I'm sorry, I removed the first two. There's a screw here, there's a screw here, and then this just comes off. So we're gonna remove the other screws on this side too, and we're gonna set all of them apart separately. It seems to me that the screws that were holding the hard drive in place in the first place weren't too different, but you still might want to you might still want to keep it. And one more purpose of this thing is it actually helps you, like once you're putting it at the bottom, you can actually screw this on like that. uh, so this is the hard disk drive that we had. Now if you realize that wait, I removed a little ribbon cable from the PCB, but this has an interface like this. So how am I going to plug this in, right? So here's the thing. Laptops come with this little module that is this is the little ribbon cable module. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over, and now this was horrifying for me too, the way it was probably horrifying for you trying to get the back cover off for the first time. You're just gonna wiggle, 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 and there do seem to be some clips. So you want to constantly apply backwards pressure, so you're taking it away from the interface. And if you'll see, uh, this is actually exactly similar to this, except you have these little pins, but they're not relevant because they're Molex, so they're usually used for computers, I think. So now this is kind of glued in place, but you want to be really gentle with this, because I don't know where you would even get a replacement for something like this, and I have not done this before. So I'm gonna try and use my tweezers to like gently get it out, because you really don't want to damage this. Ribbon cables are notorious for being extremely fragile. Yeah, it does seem to be some sort of glue, and you just want to gently try and keep probing at it and eating away at it, and eventually you will get it out. And I have gotten the module out. So now this is the module, and this is what it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the new SSD, and we're going to this also works for an HDD, by the way. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna mash up the little pins and the big pins, and we're just going to insert it, and just like that we have it in the new one, right? So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it back in the silver sleeve, the foil-ish sleeve that we got. Whoa. Okay, now I thought I lost a screw for a second. So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna screw this into here. Alright, so now we have the metal foil screwed in, so the bottom is also covered, and yeah, the more important purpose of this is these little hooks right here. So now we're gonna place it just where the old one used to be, aligning the screws up, so you can see the screw hole all the way down. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna gently place this. I'm gonna zoom in. All right, the quality might not be the best, but unfortunately that's all I can zoom into. So now we're gonna take this and we're just going to place the ribbon cable there. I from what I did yesterday, there wasn't really any inserting to do. It was just placing it in the correct place so that everything's lined up, and you might want to make sure that it's straight. That's what I'm doing right now. And yeah, I guess there is a gentle push that's required. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the black piece back and we're going to just lower it down so that it's locked in place. And now we just have these four screws to go. Alright, so if you can see now, we have screw 1, screw 2, screw 3 and screw 4 all screwed back in, and this now isn't going anywhere. So that's it, that's all we had to do, and your new SSD is installed. So what you will have to do is you'll have to look up on YouTube how you're supposed to partition these. Unfortunately I can't actually show my use case because I had actually taken a system image of my failing hard disk drive, which is this one. So the process of me going into Linux and restoring the system image will be very different from what a Windows user and just uh, creating a new partition would be like. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put it back in the orientation of what it was before. We're gonna zoom a bit back out again. Alright, so it's in center frame again, and now this is, if you look, actually this is actually just hovering over and it's not actually in place. So now those clips that you heard while you were doing that, you're gonna do, and you're just gonna press around, not too much pressure, just on the sides, and everything will just click back into place. Now sometimes like people like that, I had missed one, but what will happen is when you're screwing it back in, you might hear that again. You don't need to worry about that because it's just screwing it back in, and then because of the pressure that's being put on the little back cover to go onto the laptop will force any unclipped clips to clip. Well, try saying that out 3 times, right? So so that's it. That's what's gonna happen. So if you hear any loud noises, that's probably what it's going to be like. And then you start up your computer, create a new partition. You can find ways to do this on YouTube already. There's far too many tutorials out there. So you just create a new partition, assign it a letter, and it's a new drive. You're ready to go. Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe, hit like, and share it.